Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is the 27th March 2025. In this video, I'm going to generate different supply demand zone reports useful to the premium subscribers. Even before that, all of you please note we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. You might be knowing it is a highly expensive training course, but we are providing complete free training and all the training lessons are already available at our NeoStock YouTube channel. So to access all the training lessons at our homepage, click on the tab Posts. Some of you might be seeing the tab Community. Click on that Community tab. You get access to this post. This post is having a YouTube playlist link that will take you to all the training lessons. You just click on the link. Now we are into supply demand zone price action course. In this YouTube playlist, I kept all the training lessons. You just scroll down to the bottom of the page. Here, starting from lesson 1.1, all the training lessons are placed in an order. So please go through all these lessons one by one, but according to my training instructions. I provided the training instructions at our Telegram channel. So you can join at our Telegram channel. I provided the link to our Telegram channel in this video description. So from the video description, join at our Telegram channel. At our Telegram channel window, at the top of the window, you can find pinned messages. Go to the pinned messages, and one of the pinned messages are having all the training instructions. So please learn this course according to my training instructions. Then only you will become a very good independent trader in the coming months. Please make use of this opportunity. Now let's get into the report generation with the help of NeoStock Software. So in today's report, first I am going to generate NIFTY and BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. Because top-down analysis is going on in the background, it may take some more time to complete. Meanwhile, we will generate these reports. So first, I'm going to generate NIFTY supply demand zone chain report starting with monthly time frame. So I'm generating NIFTY monthly supply demand zone chain. Okay, this is NIFTY monthly supply demand zone chain. And always look into zone column to find the high liquidity zones. Look into the pierced column to find the pierced zones. And always look into the LTF trend to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. And follow these rules for all the supply demand zone chain reports. And also don't forget to pause the video, because I am giving you only few seconds time when you are moving from one time frame report to another time frame report. I'm giving you only 3 to 4 seconds time to watch the report. Pause the video. Once you complete your study, you can proceed to the next report. Okay. Next. Generating weekly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. So this is weekly supply demand zone chain. Next, generating daily supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. So this is a daily supply demand zone chain. Next, generating 125-minute supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. This is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price. And 11th is the serial number 11th is the nearest supply zone. I will be marking always the nearest demand zone to the current closing price, and the one above is supply zone nearest, and after that the chain you can see. Okay, next 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Serial number 27 is the nearest demand zone chain. So let me put it in the center. Okay, next 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. All are supply zones. I am scrolling the list down. 41 is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price. Let me adjust in the center. Okay, this is about Nifty supply demand zone chain. Next, I will generate Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. That is nothing but Nifty Bank. Starting with monthly time frame, generating monthly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating weekly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating daily supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. So this is a Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. With this we have completed both Nifty and Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain report generation. Next we will start with finding the stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frame. But let us check if the process is completed. No, still it is under process. Probably we need to wait for another couple of minutes time. Before that we will see yearly time frame. Let us find price closed inside the yearly demand zone. 3 stocks are filtered, but we need to check any more stocks are there remaining because it is under process. Maybe another 1 minute we need to wait. It will complete the process. Sorry for making you wait, or maybe you can skip this video part. Okay, so this process is done. We don't require dependency on the database. Also, let me close and so that memory will be freed in my computer. Okay, so let me generate this report once again. For yearly time frame, price closed inside the yearly demand zone. Only 3 stocks are there. Fine. So I'm giving you only few seconds time to watch the report. You need to pause the video, study the report. Those who don't understand the structure of this report, I request you complete our training lesson 21.1. That is part 1 of lesson 21. In that video, I have explained each and every column, their values, abbreviations in detail. Okay, let's move on to the next report. Price closed inside the yearly supply zone. We don't have any stocks. Next time frame is a half yearly. Stocks near half yearly demand zone. We got only 1 stock. Next, stocks near half yearly supply zone. We don't have any stocks. Next, price closed inside the half yearly demand zone. We got 4 stocks. Next, price closed inside the half yearly supply zone. We got 3 stocks. So next time frame is quarterly. Stocks near quarterly demand zone. We got 2 stocks. Next, stocks near quarterly supply zone. We got 8 stocks. Next, price closed inside the quarterly demand zone. First 23 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 30 stocks are filtered. We can further filter based on quarterly demand zone having quarterly EMA confluence. And also trend on the quarterly should not be sideways when you set EMA confluence. So it can be up or down. With these filters, now the list is come down to 13 stocks. All these 13 quarterly demand zones are having quarterly EMA confluence. Not only that, the current price closed inside the quarterly demand zone. Always look into the signal type, you will understand. Signal types tells you the current price action. Okay, next quarterly time frame. Price closed inside the quarterly supply zone. We got 5 stocks. Okay. Next. This list we can further filter with EMA confluence. The EMA confluence at quarterly time frame, selecting quarterly supply zone having quarterly EMA confluence, and also trend on the quarterly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. With these filters, we got 3 stocks. So these 3 quarterly supply zones are having quarterly EMA confluence. And also current price closed inside the quarterly supply zone, because our time frame is quarterly. Okay, this is about quarterly time frame. Next time frame is monthly. Stocks near monthly demand zone, we got 3 stocks. Next, stocks near monthly supply zone, we got 12 stocks. Next, price closed inside the monthly demand zone, the first 18 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down, so total 28 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence, so that we get high probability trade setup monthly zones. So in the EMA confluence at monthly, I am selecting monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence. And also trend on the monthly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. With these filters, we got 11 stocks. Okay. Next, we will look into monthly price closed inside monthly supply zone. So first 15 stocks in the list. Nifty also closed inside the monthly supply zone. Okay, I am scrolling the list down. So total 20 stocks are filtered. Now let's verify out of these 20, how many are having ITF supply zone confluence. EMA confluence. So in the EMA confluence monthly time frame, I am setting the filter monthly supply zone having monthly EMA confluence. At the same time, trend on the monthly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. With these filters, now the list is come down to 15 stocks. Even Nifty is also having monthly EMA confluence, but the only plus point is monthly trend is uptrend. And negative points are monthly. This is for buyer's point of view, I am telling. Seller's point of view, uptrend is a negative. And plus point is the monthly supply zone having monthly EMA confluence. Okay, this is about monthly time frame. Next time frame is weekly. Stocks near weekly demand zone, we got 16 stocks. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down, total 16 stocks. Okay, next, stocks near weekly supply zone, we got 13 stocks. Next, price closed inside the weekly demand zone, we got 11 stocks. Out of these 11, how many are having EMA confluence? Let us verify. Weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. And also trend on the weekly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. With these filters, we got 2 stocks. And both are pierced demand zones. Okay, next, weekly time frame. Price closed inside the weekly supply zone. First 16 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 54 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on weekly supply zones having weekly EMA confluence. Let's filter. Weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. At the same time, trend on the weekly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. With these filters, now list is come down to 27 stocks instead of 54. Okay, first 16 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 27 stocks are filtered. So this is about weekly time frame. Okay, the next time frame is a daily. Entry time frame daily. Let us find the stocks near to the daily demand zone. We got 6 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity daily demand zones from this list. IRFC is having a high liquidity daily demand zone. That's it. We got one high liquidity daily demand zone from this list. Okay, next, for daily time frame, let us find the stocks near to the daily supply zone. We got 21 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity daily supply zones from this list. Crompton is having a daily high liquidity supply zone. This is the first one. Naukri is having a high liquidity daily supply zone. Next, PL is having a daily high liquidity supply zone, and it is moving between high liquidity demand and supply zones. So sometimes either side you may get trade opportunities. Next one is Supreme Industries is having a high liquidity daily supply zone. Next, Union Bank is having a high liquidity daily supply zone. So total 5 high liquidity zones we identified. This is the first one. This is the second one. This is the third one. This is the fourth. And this is the fifth. So total 5 high liquidity daily supply zones we identified from this list. Okay. Next, price closed inside the daily demand zone. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 32 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on daily demand zones having daily EMA confluence. So in the EMA confluence at daily time frame, setting the filter daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. And the trend on the daily should not be sideways. It can be up or down. Now we got 14 stocks. Price closed inside daily demand zone, and these daily demand zones are having daily EMA confluence. Some pierced daily demand zones also there. So those who wants to apply pierced zone strategies, you can focus on those stocks. Okay, next. Price closed inside the daily supply zone. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 63 stocks are filtered. We can further filter based on daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence. Daily supply zone with daily EMA confluence filter is enabled, and also trend on the daily should not be sideways, so it can be up or down. With these filters, we got 7 stocks. So this is about daily time frame. The next time frame is 125 minutes. Stocks near 125 minutes demand zone. We got 11 stocks. Next, stocks near 125 minutes supply zone. Again, we got 11 stocks. Okay, next time frame is 75 minutes. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Let us find the stocks near to the 75 minutes demand zone. We got 13 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity 75 minutes demand zones from this list. Idea is having a 75 minutes high liquidity demand zone. Sonocoms is having a high liquidity 75 minutes demand zone. Wipro is having a 75 minutes high liquidity demand zone. So we identified 3 high liquidity 75 minutes demand zones from this list. Okay, next for 75 minutes time frame, let us find the stocks near to the 75 minutes supply zone. We got 13 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity 75 minutes supply zones from this list. Supply is having a 75 minutes high liquidity supply zone. Gale is pierced, so it is not valid. Marico is having a 75 minutes high liquidity supply zone. That's it. We identified 2 75 minutes high liquidity supply zones from this list. So with this, we have completed identifying daily and 75 minutes high liquidity zones for applying our intraday strategy, high liquidity zone strategy. Okay, next time frame is 25 minutes. Stocks near 25 minutes demand zone. We got 10 stocks. Next 25 minutes time frame, stocks near 25 minutes supply zone. We got 5 stocks. Next time frame is 15 minutes. Stocks near 15 minutes demand zone. We got 9 stocks. We can further filter this list based on the zone confluence. ITF demand zone confluence, that is 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. After applying the filter, we got 4 stocks. That means these 15 minutes demand zones overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone, but Bajaj Auto is a pierced zone. Okay, next 15 minutes time frame, stocks near 15 minutes supply zone. We got 4 stocks. Let's verify out of these 4 how many are having ITF supply zone confluence. Sorry, ITF supply zone confluence. That is 15 minutes supply zone with 75 minutes supply zone confluence. I enabled the filter. Filter is enabled. Now we got 3 stocks. The second one is a pierced zone. You can ignore it. Or you can look for any pierced zone strategies. Okay, this is 15 minutes time frame. Next time frame is 5 minutes. Stocks near 5 minutes demand zone. We got 13 stocks. We can further filter this based on ITF Confluence. That is 5 minutes demand zone with 15 minutes demand zone Confluence. We got 4 stocks. Third one is a pierced zone. You can ignore it. Next, for 5 minutes time frame, stocks near 5 minutes supply zone. We got 9 stocks. We can further filter based on the zone confluence, ITF supply zone confluence, that is 5 minutes and 15 minutes supply zone confluence. I am enabling that filter. We got 4 stocks. Fourth one is a pierced supply zone. You can ignore it. So these are the stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. Next, we will generate bullish and bearish trade setups for monthly, weekly, daily and hourly income trade. So monthly income trade bullish trade setup, entry time frame daily, entry is on demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at entry time frame daily, I am selecting bullish. And the zone achievement should always be violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score should always be 12. So with these filters, we got 9 stocks. And out of these 9, few are having pierced zones. You can use them for pierced zone strategies if they are applicable. Okay, out of these 9, let us identify high probability trade setup supported stocks based on the zone confluence. We can further filter based on LTF, ITF demand zone confluence. LTF is daily, ITF is weekly. So in the demand zone confluence, I am enabling the filter daily demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. By applying this filter, now we got 8 stocks. In these 8 stocks, these daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zone. And weekly trend is up in all these stocks. So if weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence, then the daily demand zones overlapped with that weekly demand zones are having even more high probability to get success. Because all these are already overlapped with weekly. But weekly is having EMA confluence, then the daily zones having even more high priority or high probability to get success. So in the EMA confluence, weekly time frame, because the daily zone is a part of the weekly zone, that's why we are checking weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. Anyway, trend is uptrend. We got 4 stocks. So these 4 are high probability to get success, these daily demand zones. Okay, this is about bullish trade setup, daily income trade based on LTF and ITF demand zone confluence and ITF EMA confluence. Next, we should look into HTF also. So next, I am adding the filter LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence, remove EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter, daily and weekly zone confluence is already enabled. Next, daily demand zone with monthly demand zone confluence. And weekly demand zone with monthly demand zone confluence. All the 3 filters are enabled. Now we got 3 stocks. In these 3 stocks, these daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zone. Again, both together overlapped with monthly demand zone. And monthly trend is up in all the 3 stocks. And if any of these 3 stocks monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence, then these daily demand zones are having even more high probability to get success. Already Nifty Bank is filtered with the LTF, ITF and also ITF EMA Confluence. Now we are checking with even HTF. Let's verify. In the EMA Confluence at monthly time frame, because daily together with weekly is part of the monthly demand zone. That's why we are checking monthly demand zone having monthly EMA Confluence. And all the three stocks monthly trend is uptrend. So we can directly filter. So all three are filtered. That means all the three are having even more high probability to get success. Okay, this is about bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame is daily. Entry zone, supply zone. In bullish or bearish, I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score 12. With these filters, we got 5 stocks. All these 5 stocks are currently supporting bearish trade setup for monthly income trade, and entry time frame zones are daily supply zones. All these are all daily supply zones, entry time frame zones. Out of these 5 daily supply zones, let us find high probability trade setup supported stocks based on the zone confluence. After that, EMA confluence. Okay, first filter is LTF, ITF supply zone confluence. That is a daily and a weekly supply zone confluence. I enabled that filter. Out of 5 stocks, we got all 5 stocks. That means in all these 5 stocks, these daily supply zones are overlapped with weekly supply zone. And weekly trend is down in all these stocks, ITF trend. So if weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence, then these daily supply zones are having even more high probability to get success. Let's verify. EMA confluence at weekly time frame, because daily is overlapped with weekly. So we are checking weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. Anyway, trend is down, so we can filter. Out of 5, we got 4 stocks. So all these are all weekly supply zones having weekly EMA confluence. Inside that, the daily supply zones are there. Okay, next let us look into LTF, ITF and even HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. Removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, daily with weekly. Next, daily supply zone with monthly supply zone confluence. Weekly supply zone with monthly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 2 stocks. In these 2 stocks, these daily supply zones overlapped with weekly supply zone. Both together again overlapped with monthly supply zone. But monthly trend is sideways. Sideways trend EMA confluence does not have any advantage. So that is the reason why we are leaving EMA confluence checking. That means EMA confluence is not supported in these 2 stocks. We can't find even more high probability. Based on EMA, we can't find. Okay, this is about bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. So we have completed monthly income trade. Next, we will look into weekly income trade. Weekly income trade, bullish trade setup, entry time frame 75 minutes, entry zone, demand zones, bullish or bearish at 75 minutes. I am selecting bullish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score is 12. And also this 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means pierced count should be 0. Pierced count 0 means zone is not pierced. This is how you should understand for the remaining reports also. So we got 8 stocks. So at present, these 8 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. And entry time frame zones are 75 minutes demand zones. All these are all 75 minutes demand zones. So we got 8 75 minutes demand zones. supporting bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Out of these 8, how many are having even more high probability to get success? That we can identify based on the zone confluence. See, all these strategies you learned in lesson 27. Those who did not attend lesson 27, first attend that lesson. Then you understand all these strategies in detail. Okay, I'm filtering LTF and ITF demand zone confluence supported stocks. LTF is 75 minutes, ITF is daily, so 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. I enabled the filter. With this filter, we got 4 stocks. In these 4 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones are overlapped with daily demand zones, because entry time frame 75 minutes. And also entry zone, demand zone. Always you have to look into search strategy to understand how we are filtering the stocks. Okay, fine. We got 4 stocks. Out of these 4, all are having ITF trend as uptrend. So, if any of these daily demand zones, ITF is daily, 75 demand zone is part of the daily. That's why if daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence, then those 75 minutes demand zones are having even more high probability to get success. Let's filter. The EMA confluence at a daily time frame, I am setting the filter, daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. So we got 3 stocks. These 3 are having even more high probability to get success, these demand zones. This is based on LTF, ITF demand zone confluence and ITF EMA confluence. Next we will look into LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence. Later HTF EMA confluence if HTF trend is uptrend. Okay, I am removing this EMA filter. This is ITF specific. So in the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set, including HTF also. So first one is already enabled, LTF and ITF. Next, daily with monthly demand zone confluence. Something wrong here. Sorry, we already enabled 75 with daily. So next one, 75 with weekly demand zone confluence. And daily demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 are enabled. That means 75 minutes, daily and weekly, all 3 should overlap with each other. That is what the meaning of setting these 3 filters. We got only 1 stock. In this stock, this 75 minutes demand zone overlapped with daily demand zone. Again, both together overlapped with weekly demand zone. But weekly trend is sideways. In the sideways trend, weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence does not add any advantage, because EMA confluence never give any advantage in sideways trend. So that's why we are not checking EMA confluence for this HTF time frame. So this is bullish trade setup for bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next we will look into bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame 75 minutes, entry zone supply zone, bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes. I am selecting bearish, and zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd and enhanced score 12, and also 75 minutes supply zone should not be pierced. In the pierced count parameter at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. So with these filters, all the 3 filters, zone achievement, minimum odd and enhanced score and zone pierced count, all 3 filters are applied to 75 minutes supply zone. Let's filter. We got 8 stocks. These 8 stocks are at present supporting bearish trade setup for a weekly income trade. And all the entry time frame zones are 75 minute supply zones. We got 8 75 minute supply zones, entry zones. Out of these 8 75 minute supply zones, how many are having even more high probability to get success? Let us filter based on the zone confluence. First filter is LTF ITF supply zone confluence. That is 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. So that is the filter I am enabling in the supply zone confluence. So with this filter, we got all the 7 stocks. So all the 75-minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zones. All these are all overlapped with daily supply zone. And daily trend is down in all these stocks because it is bearish trade setup. So that is the reason why if daily supply zones are having daily EMA confluence, then there could be even more high probability to get success. Let us filter them. In the EMA confluence at a daily time frame, because 75-minute supply zone overlapped with the daily supply zone. That's why we are checking daily supply zone is having daily EMA confluence. With this filter, we got 4 stocks. So these 4 are having even more high probability to get success. Maybe that is the reason why this is already tested. This one is already tested. This one is tested 6 times. Excellent. Okay, next we will look into LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. 75 minutes daily and weekly supply zone confluence. So I'm going back, removing this ITF EMA filter. Now we should focus on HTF. So in the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled, 75 with daily. Next 75 with weekly, and daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF, supply zone confluence, we got 2 stocks. In these 2 stocks, these 75-minute supply zones overlapped with daily supply zone. Both together again overlapped with weekly supply zone. And weekly trend is down in only 1 stock. Suppose if this stock is having weekly supply zone with weekly EMA confluence, then this zone might be having even more high probability to get success. Let's filter. In the EMA confluence weekly time frame, I am checking weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. At the same time, in the trend, weekly should not be sideways. It should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. So that 1 stock is filtered. So this is an even more high probability trade setup to get success. So this is bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Okay, next we will look into daily income trade supported stocks. Okay, daily income trade bullish trade setup, entry time frame 15 minutes, entry zone demand zone. And also in bullish or bearish at 15 minutes time frame, I am selecting bullish. Zone achievement should be violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score should be 12. And 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, so this is a pierced count parameter at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters, we got 8 stocks. All these 8 stocks are currently supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade. And entry time frame zones are demand zones. All these are all 15 minutes demand zones, entry time frame zones. Out of these 8 15 minutes demand zones, how many are having even more high probability to get success? Let us filter them. So first filter is LTF, ITF demand zone confluence. That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence. I enabled the filter. With this filter, out of 8, we got 6 stocks. In these 6 stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 75 minutes demand zones. And the 75 minutes trend is up in all these stocks. So that is the reason why if 75 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA confluence, then these 15 minutes demand zones might be having more high probability to get success. So let's filter based on the EMA Confluence. EMA, because 15 minutes supply zone, demand zone is at this 75 minutes demand zone. I'm selecting 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA Confluence. Anyway, 75 minutes trend is up in all the stocks. We got one stock. So this demand zone is having even more high probability to get success. Okay, next we will look into LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence supported stocks. Removing this ITF EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, 15 minutes with 75 minutes. Next, 15 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 3 stocks. In these 3 stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. Both together again overlapped with daily demand zone. And the daily trend is up in only one stock. If this stock is having daily demand zone with daily EMA confluence, then this 15 minutes demand zone might be having even more high probability to get success. Let's filter. EMA confluence at daily. Why daily? Because 15 minutes zone together with 75 minutes, part of the daily zone, overlapped with daily. That's why we are checking daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. At the same time, the daily trend should not be sideways. Few stocks daily trend is sideways. We have to eliminate them. So daily trend should be uptrend because it is bullish trade setup. So with these filters, we got that one stock is filtered. So that means this is having even more high probability to get success. Maybe that is the reason why this zone is already tested 4 times. Okay, this is about bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Next, we will look into bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame 15 minutes. Entry zone, supply zone. Bullish or bearish at 15 minutes. I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum order enhances score 12. And 15 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 15 minutes, selecting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. So with these filters, we got 5 stocks. All these 5 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade. And entry time frame zones are 15 minutes supply zones. All these are all 15 minute supply zones. We got 5 15 minute supply zones supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade. And out of these 5 15 minute supply zones, how many are having even more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on the zone confluence. First filter is LTF, ITF supply zone confluence. That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. By enabling this filter, we got all the 5 stocks. That means in all the 5 stocks, these 15 minute supply zones are overlapped with 75 minute supply zones. And 75 minutes trend is down in all these stocks. ITF trade. So that's why if 75 minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence, then those 15 minute supply zones might be having even more high probability to get success. Let's filter them. So in the EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame, because 15 minute supply zone overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. That's why we are checking 75 minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence. And anyway, 75 minutes trend is a downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. So none of the stocks are having 75 minute supply zones with daily EMA confluence. Okay, now we will filter based on LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. Removing ITF EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, 15 minutes with 75 minutes. Second filter, 15 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. Third filter, 75 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. With all the three filters enabled, we got only one stock. So in Tata Motors, this 15 minute supply zone overlapped with 75. Both together overlapped with daily supply zone. But daily trend is sideways. Sideways trend, we don't get any advantage for EMA confluence. So we are not checking EMA confluence. Okay, this is about a bearish trade setup for hourly, is a bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Next, we will look into hourly income trade reports. Bullish trade setup for hourly income trade, entry time frame 5 minutes, entry zone, demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 5 minutes, I am selecting bullish, and zone achievement should be violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score should be 12, and also 5 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. In the pierced count, at 5 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters, we got 21 stocks supporting bullish trade setup for hourly income trade. So first 16 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 21 stocks are filtered. Out of these 21, we can further filter based on zone confluence. So first filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is 5 minutes and 15 minutes demand zone confluence. So this is the filter. So I am enabling this filter, 5 minutes demand zone with 15 minutes demand zone confluence. Still we got a big number, 18 stocks we got. So first 15 stocks, all these 5 minutes demand zones overlapped with 15 minutes demand zones. Scrolling the list down, we should focus on the demand zones. Entry time frame is demand zone. Okay, 18 in 5 minutes and 15 minutes demand zone confluence. And 15 minutes trend is up in all these stocks. Let us check if any of the 15 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA confluence. In that case, there could be more high probability to get success. In the EMA confluence at 15 minutes time frame, I am checking any of the 15 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA confluence, because 5 minutes demand zone overlapped with 15 minutes demand zone. So none of the 15 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA confluence. Okay, next we will filter based on LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence. That is 5 minutes, 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence supported stocks. I am removing this ITF EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, 3 filters I have to set. First filter is already enabled, 5 minutes with 15 minutes. Next 5 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. And 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence, we got 11 stocks. In all these 11 stocks, these 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 15 minutes demand zones. Again, both together they are overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. And 75 minutes means HTF. HTF trend is up in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stocks. If out of those 6, if any of the 75 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA confluence, probably those stocks might be having more high probability to get success. Let's filter them. In the EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame, I am checking 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA confluence. At the same time, trend on the 75 minutes time frame should not be sideways. It should be uptrend because it is bullish trade setup. So with these filters, we got one stock. So this 5 minutes demand zone having more high probability to get success. Okay, this is hourly income trade bullish trade setup. Next, hourly income trade bearish trade setup. Entry time frame 5 minutes, entry zone, supply zone, bullish or bearish trade setup. At 5 minutes, I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum order enhances score 12. And 5 minutes supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, at 5 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters, we got 9 stocks. These 9 stocks are currently supporting bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. And all these entry time frame zones are 5 minute supply zones. Out of these 9 5 minute supply zones, how many are having more high probability to get success? That we can find based on the zone confluence. Out of these 9, let us check how many are having 5 minutes and 15 minute supply zone confluence. So I am enabling the filter 5 minute supply zone with 15 minute supply zone confluence. So with this filter, out of 9, we got all 9 stocks. So that means all these 5 minute supply zones are overlapped with 15 minute supply zones. And 15 minutes trend is down in all these stocks because it is bearish trade setup. So let's verify if any of the 15 minute supply zones are having daily EMA confluence, then the 5 minute supply zones might be having more high probability to get success. Let's filter 15 minutes because 5 minute supply zone overlapped with 15 minute supply zone. That's why we are checking 15 minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence. So none of the stocks are having ITF EMA confluence. Okay, next we will look into HTF supply zone and then HTF EMA confluence. Removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, we should set 3 filters for HTF zone confluence. First filter is already enabled. Next 5 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone confluence. 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 5 stocks. So in these 5 stocks, these 5 minute supply zones are overlapped with 15 minute supply zone. And both together again overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. And 75 minutes trend is down in 3 stocks, second, third and fourth. If any of these 3 stocks are having 75 minute supply zone with daily EMA confluence, then these 5 minute supply zones might be having more high probability to get success. Let's filter. In the EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting the filter 75 minute supply zone is having daily EMA confluence or not. At the same time, trend on the 75 minute supply zone should not be sideways. It should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. So with these filters, we did not get any stocks. So this is about hourly income trade, bearish trade setup. So with this, we have completed all the income trade report generation. And in the final report, let us generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. All these are all stop buffers. First 17 in this list are indices, remaining all are equity stocks. Okay, I'm scrolling the list down. Whichever the stock you want to refer, there pause the video. So this is the end of the report. Hope this information will be useful to you for your further study and analysis. Let's all meet again in our next video. Thank you.